If you're thinking about buying a home in Florida right now, you need to watch this entire video because what I'm about to show you could help you avoid making one of the biggest financial mistakes of your life. 5 different cities across Florida are flashing major warning signs, signals most people aren't even noticing. And if you end up purchasing in the wrong area, you could lose tens of thousands of dollars once the market shifts in 2026. I'm not here to scare you, but the data speaks for itself. Insurance costs are exploding, property taxes are rising fast, and several Florida cities are on track for sharp price drops. Today, I'm going to show you exactly which ones. Here's the plan. We're breaking down 5 Florida cities that are positioned for significant housing price declines in 2026. I'm talking about actual data, real numbers, and the specific reasons these markets are in trouble. And look, I get it. Florida has been red hot for years. People have been moving in from everywhere. But the cracks are starting to appear. And once you know where to look, you can see exactly what's coming. Before we get into the list, let's talk about why this is happening at all. Florida's housing boom was powered by a massive influx of people relocating from other states. No state income tax, warm weather, beautiful beaches. It's been the perfect combination. Prices skyrocketed, inventory dried up, and sellers had all the leverage. But that wave is slowing down. Migration numbers are falling. Many people now realize Florida is nowhere near as cheap as they expected. Then there's the insurance crisis. Homeowners insurance has become absolutely insane. Premiums in some areas have doubled or tripled. Some insurance companies have left the state altogether. And for those that remain, the costs can exceed a homeowner's mortgage payment. It simply isn't sustainable. When people can't afford insurance, they stop buying. When buyers disappear, prices fall. And this is just part of the problem. Property taxes are rising, HOA fees are soaring, and the climate risks, hurricanes, flooding, sea level rise, are no longer abstract concerns. They're hitting real estate values directly. Put all of this together and you get a perfect storm that puts certain Florida cities at serious risk of major price drops. Before we dive in, anyone thinking about buying or selling in Florida or anywhere in the US needs to understand what's happening in these markets right now. Number 5, Tampa. This one might shock people. Tampa has been one of the hottest markets in the country, but that's precisely why it's at risk. The faster a market climbs, the harder it corrects, and Tampa is overdue. Home prices have doubled in some neighborhoods in just 5 years. That kind of appreciation is impossible to sustain. The median price is now over $450,000, and many neighborhoods exceed $500,000. But the local economy simply doesn't support these numbers. Tampa's median household income is around $70,000. That math doesn't work. Then there's the insurance crisis. Tampa sits right on the water and is extremely vulnerable to hurricanes. Many insurers are exiting Florida altogether, and those that remain are charging massive premiums, $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 a year in certain areas. When insurance costs as much as a mortgage, the market breaks. Traffic in Tampa is also among the worst in the state. Infrastructure can't handle the growth, public transportation hasn't kept up, and residents are frustrated with long commute times. Tampa also experienced huge investor activity during the boom. Investors bought homes to flip or rent short-term, but now the market is cooling. As investors begin to panic, they start unloading properties at the same time, adding to inventory and pushing prices down. Affordability is collapsing as well. Long-time residents can't afford to buy. Young professionals are leaving for cheaper cities. And when the workforce leaves, businesses struggle, weakening the local economy and putting more downward pressure on housing. Property taxes have surged too. Higher home values have driven up tax assessments, and homeowners are being hit with enormous bills. When taxes are too high, people sell. And when many people sell at once, prices fall. Tampa is still a great city with a lot of positives. But the market surged too far too fast, and reality is starting to catch up. By 2026, Tampa is positioned for a meaningful correction. It may not crash as hard as some of the other cities on this list, but prices will come down. If you're thinking about buying in Tampa, proceed very carefully. Waiting for the correction could save you a lot of money. Number 4, Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie is another market that overheated way too quickly. It became the go-to place for people escaping the high prices of South Florida. But now, the city itself is no longer affordable. Prices have risen so dramatically that locals can't compete with out-of-state buyers. And those out-of-state buyers are starting to pull back. Pair that with high interest rates, and suddenly paying $500,000 for a home in Port St. Lucie doesn't make much sense once insurance, taxes, and upkeep are factored in. The city is also vulnerable to hurricanes, and insurers know it. Premiums are rising, and some companies refuse to insure certain areas at all. On top of that, the local job market isn't strong. Many residents commute elsewhere for work or are retirees living on fixed incomes. And when costs rise quickly, retirees can't keep up. Builders also flooded the market during the boom, and now there's more inventory than demand. Basic economics: more supply plus less demand equals falling prices. Port St. Lucie also doesn't offer the amenities people expect when paying this much. Limited culture, few quality restaurants, and not a lot of entertainment options. As more people ask why they're paying premium prices for limited lifestyle value, home prices will inevitably fall. Port St. Lucie is heading for a much harder correction than most people realize. Number 3, Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda is a smaller city on Florida's southwest coast that became popular with retirees looking for a calm, peaceful lifestyle. But quiet doesn't mean safe, and the city has big issues that are now catching up with it. It sits in one of the most hurricane-prone regions in Florida. Hurricane Ian devastated the area in 2022, and insurers haven't forgotten it. Premiums have skyrocketed, and some insurers won't cover homes here at all. If you can't get insurance, you can't get a mortgage. And when buyers can't get mortgages, prices fall. Punta Gorda also has a very limited economy. With so many retirees, there aren't many job opportunities for younger residents, and the city depends heavily on retirees moving in. Retirees today are more price sensitive. When they see $10,000 to $15,000 per year insurance premiums, they're choosing other states, and even other parts of Florida, with much lower costs. The city also lacks the amenities retirees want: strong dining options, good shopping, and robust healthcare access. Healthcare facilities are stretched thin, and quality of life expectations are rising. Punta Gorda also saw a big surge of buyers during the pandemic, leading to inflated prices. Now many of those buyers are trying to sell, but new buyers aren't willing to pay the same amounts. Inventory is building, homes are sitting longer on the market, and price reductions are accelerating. This is just the beginning. By 2026, Punta Gorda is likely to experience major price drops, especially in areas most exposed to storm and flood risks. Number 2, Lakeland. Lakeland might surprise people by being on this list because it's been growing and is considered a relatively affordable option between Tampa and Orlando. But that's exactly the problem. Lakeland has been marketed as the budget-friendly choice, and prices have risen to the point that it's no longer actually affordable. Lakeland doesn't have a strong standalone economy. It functions more as a pass-through city for people priced out of Tampa or Orlando who commute to those cities for work. But long commutes, rising gas costs, and worsening traffic erode the affordability advantage. Infrastructure hasn't kept up with growth either. Roads are overwhelmed, public transportation is lacking, schools are overcrowded, and crime rates are higher than families expect, all of which push buyers elsewhere. While Lakeland isn't coastal, it still has serious flooding issues when hurricanes push water inland. Insurance companies are fully aware of this and have raised premiums. Many homes are older, need repairs, and cost more than buyers anticipated. Lakeland also attracted tons of investors who bought properties during the boom. Now, with the rental market softening and flipping becoming harder, those investors are trying to offload properties. Expect rising inventory and falling prices. Quick pause. If you live in one of these areas, drop a comment with what you're seeing firsthand. Are premiums doubling? Are homes sitting longer? And if you're finding this helpful, hit the like button so more people see this before making an expensive mistake. Number 1, Cape Coral. Cape Coral has been one of the most overvalued housing markets in Florida for years. Prices exploded during the pandemic, and tons of people bought in thinking they were making a smart investment. But the reality is very different. Cape Coral is extremely vulnerable to flooding. Much of the city sits at low elevation, And with rising sea levels and stronger storms, flood insurance has become unaffordable for many homeowners. And it's not just the insurance crisis. The city has struggled with infrastructure issues, and red tide continues to hurt water quality and overall desirability. The famous canal system, what makes Cape Coral unique, is also a massive liability. During hurricanes, these canals overflow, flooding entire neighborhoods. Insurers know the risk and have either pulled out or raised premiums beyond what many people can manage. On top of that, the local economy cannot support the inflated home values. The median home price soared past $400,000 at its peak, while the median household income sits around $60,000. The numbers simply don't add up, and buyers are waking up to that reality. As they do, prices will fall. The city also saw huge speculation during the boom, and now those investors are rushing to exit, leading to more inventory, fewer buyers, and downward pressure on prices. So there you have it, 5 Florida cities likely to see major home price drops in 2026. Cape Coral, Port St. Lucie, Lakeland, Punta Gorda, and Tampa. All of these markets are flashing clear warning signs. If you're considering buying in any of these places, you need to run the numbers carefully. Factor in insurance, taxes, climate risks, and affordability. Don't buy at the peak, where you could be stuck regretting the decision for years. If you made it this far, you clearly take real estate decisions seriously. Subscribe now for weekly deep dive market analysis with specific cities, real data, and zero fluff. Leave a comment telling us which city surprised you the most. Viewer comments directly shape future videos.